way to safeguard the residents too. You can drive through the ranch, especially at night, because at night we know that all the cats are gray. So it's a way to keep you safe. But it's a good thing that we discuss here. It will take some time to do it. But I think so it's a good measure. It was a proposal that we have been hearing from residents too. It was not just the supervisors and the management. Some people has been calling us and saying, you know, I am afraid of going that road.
And Tony, to your point, we have talked to a number of residents living in that area, and there wasn't one person that was really against it. It was more yet all on the line as, yeah, I can see it coming. So there was nobody, that never said, and I understand your point too, Ross. Only other thing I'd like to point out is that on the El Dorado side, there's 3 people that have put in their application for supervisor. That's Ed Jones, Joe Peer, and Linda Wiggins. All of their information is on the HOA website. If you go to the site map, you can click on it, and their applications are there.
Dick? Yeah, Dick, I just have one quick little question. Since you're going to be closing all the other gates except for Saltillo till at 6 p.m., is there any way that you can alleviate the bottleneck that's going to happen at the gates? Because you're going to have, especially during holiday times when people don't have the cards and they have to fill out the
Yeah, I understand. The reason it was picked 6 a.m., 6 p.m. because that was when a shift change.
Yeah, I understand that, but is it possible to create an extra exit lane out of the ranch from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.?
We have considered that, and we've got the cost on doing that, and possibly putting in a gate over there.
Okay, yeah. That's because I can see this happening in both directions, from 6 to 10 p.m. There's going to be a problem. After 10, yeah, it drops off, quite a bit.
I understand.
All right, this lady here wants.
Hi, I am a resident who uses the Hacienda del Sol gate regularly, and I would like to express my strong objection to this. For starters, I think the time that you limited is ridiculous. I think that you should, if you're going to put this into effect, make it 10 p.m. We're still out and about. It is extremely convenient and wonderful to be able to leave your house, run to the hot tub at Palapa, and run back, and you're taking that away. And I want to make it very clear that when we bought our property, there was a gate there. And if you're going to change that and you say it's to save money, well, then I'd like to see the HOA fees go down for those people that are affected, because everyone else is not going to be impacted like we are. And I agree with the gentleman's statement that this should have been more thoroughly publicly vetted.
In addition to that, I am on the EDR and I go right down Sausalito Road. So not only is it creating an inconvenience for the people at other exits, it's also creating an inconvenience for those of us that's the only way we come in. So this affects everybody as a whole. It's not just affecting people who are on the north side of EDR, it's affecting all of us who are on the mountain side of EDR. And I would also like to know what the actual cost of this is. You said it's a little tiny road, so I don't understand what the point of that would be if it's an emergency services road. And has this all been surveyed out? Because Electric Road is not that big and is not that wide.
Well, the Electric Road is the same width pretty much as all the other roads. Pardon me?
I'm saying, Dick, you're now saying it's going to be used for emergency services. So you've only got so much space that's in that area. Has this been surveyed off? I'd like to see where it's being surveyed off so that we all know exactly where it will be.
I didn't say that road would just be used for emergency services.
Okay, I understand, but it's going to be a high traffic road. It's not going to be a low traffic road. It's going to be a high traffic road. And you just admitted that it's just going to be a little road. Well,
A road will be the same as the electric road, same as the frontage road to the Hacienda del Sol gate that we've put in.
you're increasing traffic, is my point, into one area where there are several areas currently serviced on the north side. Am I correct? So what you're doing is you're taking access that has several access points and you're turning it into one access. So that means the traffic on that road, what's the traffic count?
That's what we're doing right now, as I said.
Okay, well, I would think that before you propose this and
That's
you
why we're
spend
doing
money, that you spend money, that you actually do your due diligence on it and don't just tell all of us sitting here that watch our HOA fees go up and 750 people who have just walked away from the ranches in the last 2 years and we're bleeding money right and left, that this is going to be for the benefit of everybody. I don't think that's it. Everyone here is saying for the most part we're not benefiting from this.
Well, let me say something about the traffic. If you have been in the ranch long enough, you know that from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., there's not a big traffic in the ranch in the general areas. As a matter of fact, we have been talking in the HOA side to our guards who are in the gates all the time. And they say after 6, traffic decrease like 70 or 80%. So there's not to be high traffic. And for emergencies, it's like it is right now. They can use Saltito, they can use the electric road to move like they have been doing forever. There will be no extensive traffic of emergency. This will be the normal stuff. Another thing is, this discussion was brought by Dick precisely to hear your opinions. Right now, like he said, we are still working, making the biddings, checking the numbers, and this is not going to happen tomorrow. We will be providing you information as we go, and we will be hearing you so you can comment. But, for example, we want to lower the dues. Just for your information, the President of Mexico announced another raise of 12% to the basic salaries in all the country. 12%. And then, very soon in the next year, will come the work hours of 40 hours a week. So there's a way that we put down the dues? I don't think so. Just the salaries, and I am not talking in general. This is for the basic salary. The lowest salary that is paid anywhere, it will raise 12%. For sure, there will be no one in the other companies that will raise the management people 12%. No way. No way. Only the basic salary is 12% over. But that's a raise. Excuse me? Yes, in January, it will raise 12%. And with that comes raises in gasoline, gas, electricity, everything. We know how it works. It works the same way all around the world. All around the world. So we are expecting raises in services too. So we are looking at that very carefully. And we need new people, for sure. Yes, over here, please.
I study economics, and I understand your perspective about a 12% increase that you're looking at and the work week changing. The difficulty I have is that it seems that the perspective that you have opted to take is only looking at that. It's not looking at the impact that this has on us. So creative problem solving for economics means that we need to also take into consideration not just the increased cost, which I recognize you have to deal with, that's a reality, but we also need to look at how this is going to impact the people who live here. In this particular instance, I think the impact is too great, and there needs to be discussion, and there needs to be problem solving around this.
I agree with you, but this is not something that I created or that I can handle. The government, you say you're going to raise 12%, and they don't care about the needs of anybody. That's not from the HOA. That's directly from the government. In that case, I suggest that you talk with the supervisors, because that's opinions that we would like to hear from you. But it's, here it will take a long time to discuss, so if you get with them and talk with them, it's easier.
Rather than arguing and everything, I'm kind of one of the people I like to look for solutions. To me, it sounds like a decent plan because as somebody who's run businesses my whole adult life, labor, regulations, all that stuff is a problem. So the thought that comes to my mind is while we're talking about shutting these gates, I wonder what the price, what's the cost to get an automatic gate like we have at the main entrance? Would that be something we could do? Maybe even at more gates, more times to eventually get to a point where we only need half the people running gates because those of us that are owners, we've got our card key and we can let ourselves in and out. As far as like the access, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, but emergency access or emergency services will not be affected by this. And I would think regardless whether this happens or not, if we're calling 911, we want to call the security office as well to have that extra bit of support. So I don't see where it's a problem with the emergency because they can still use the gates whether they're open or not. But anyways, that's my thought. Rather than fighting this thing, I think we should collectively work together, try to find the best idea. Thank you.
I agree. That's what I suggest, that you contact the supervisors and me. Yes, Ross. Here comes the micro.
Okay. Just at least from me, one last comment. My big concern, we are called the Homeowners Association. That's what HOA stands for. And I interpret that as meaning the homeowners, have a say in this sort of thing, that we can come up with ideas. I've suggested in virtually dozens now of these HOA meetings that committees be formed in order to come up with ideas to save money. People that live here, especially long-term people, and that are especially here year-round, I'm sure have many ideas on how to save money from the HOA that they would love to present. And these ideas just pop up sometimes, in your head. And we need to have meetings of just maybe a group or something to express ideas like this. And at those meetings, something like this could have been brought up and discussed over a period of time, or should have been at least, because it has the most direct effect I can think of, other than maybe the golf passes years ago, on the residents that are here. And who knows, maybe we would all be, and I'm going to get booze when I say this, but I've just got to say it should have been presented as an option. An extra $50 a year to the mountainside people might have been able to offset the need for this, because there's several thousand people over there, so you're talking a couple $100,000 a year. And I'm not saying that was the way to go, but it could have been at least brought up and saying, we'll either cut this road or raise your HOA $50, and you might have gotten more people on your side for cutting the road at that point. And, You're talking about traffic. Every meeting, the traffic along Saltillo Road is brought up, and having to grade it, and you know, all the work that's involved in that, and people talking about, you know, people speeding through the ranch, and you know, we bought on the mountainside for a reason. It's quiet, it's comfortable, larger lots, dark skies. I mean, all those things combined will be affected by having people who are normally out 6 to 10 p.m. who maybe won't be out from 6 to 10 p.m. anymore, drastically affecting businesses. But all those cars will now be rushing through that new road in order to get from one gate to another. And you're dreaming if you think they're all going to go the 25 mile per hour or whatever speed limit that you might set on it. It just makes no sense. A simple meeting or two, private, not where it's a whole thing like this, but a committee with several meetings during the year, should have taken place.
Ross, I've repeatedly brought up the fact, and back when Steve Kimmey was alive, he did the same thing. At any time, the supervisors are available to meet with any neighborhood group. In the time that I have been a supervisor and then president, there's only been one group that has requested meeting, and Ed and I went over there. Well, the people are, you talk about people having questions. These people had a lot of questions. They didn't know half the things about the ongoing of the HOA. And we ended up, there was like 20 some odd people in a big circle, and Ed and I were the punching bags. But they went away with knowledge as to what what was going on in the ranch. And it's not, somebody asked what the cost is. Estimated cost in labor right now, labor savings, right now labor, for those gates that we would close, would be about an annual savings of $60,000. And the cost of putting that road in with the lights and everything I've talked about is about $47,000. I'm sorry. Cost of a electric gate, which we at one time, I had Ricardo Perez give us an estimate. You're looking at something, by the time you get the software, hardware, whatever they call it, involved, you're looking at about $50,000, $60,000 to add a gate going out to the Saltillo Road. And one of the reasons we didn't put in an automatic gate there is because at that time, I mean, we don't have it anymore, but at that time, there was theft of vehicles. And just because you have a sticker on your car going out, that doesn't mean you're the owner of their car. So that's why we didn't put it in there.
Hi, Dick. I'm getting the feeling that nobody wants this. That's the general feeling that I get. You're presenting this to us as, at first I figured that this is a done deal, and now I'm getting it as it's not a done deal?
I'm saying it's an item that we have proposed as supervisors as a cost-saving item.
Okay, so with that being said, there's also the fact that there's a new road that's going in where people come and buy properties. They buy properties for a lot of reasons, and now all of a sudden you're proposing a road right backing on to where they live. That can affect their property value as well. So I think that needs to be brought up as well, because I don't really think anybody that's going to be along this new road is going to be happy. And I think that there's more things, like the young lady here with the economic aspect. I think she's 100% correct. So I don't think that there's been enough thought put into this to actually come up if we're going to make a decision on this. And I think we need to do a lot more work on it. But as it stands right now, I don't see anybody liking this idea in any way. Okay?
There hasn't been a proposal. This has been a discussion that we did. And like I said, I'm just, no, not that I'm aware of. We're looking at a cost-saving effort.
We considered that, and but in the meantime, you can think about it. We can think about it. We hear everything that has been said, and I think so. We have to talk about it. This is mean that we are open to hear your commentaries. There has been said many things. We have to think on that because there are points that are very interesting. Let's see. Let's talk later about this. Yes.
All right. I would got suggestions why we don't do something about it. We can stop all these people that just flying on the road. Why can't we just give them a ticket from the HOA? Start giving tickets to these people so they can slow down and we can collect some money.
We cannot do that.
Things. Well, then why we don't do that? Put some signs or start watching these people the way they drive. It's unbelievable. It's just they just drive crazy.
Yeah, I know, and I have been saying that in each town hall, in each reunion we have, and the people don't care. Now we have called the police. They make their rounds. The Navy comes in. The Army comes in. And when they see them, they slow down. The thing is that everybody has to be responsible. That's the real thing. Because giving fines, everybody is unhappy with the Guardia Nacional because they are giving fines, but they are doing the law job. We cannot do it because we are not the representatives of the law. Even if we try to do it, we will be fined by the government because we don't have any legal status like an authority.
Okay, the other thing is why we don't change the meetings dates or a month and wait for all these people that are out of town right now. They're not here yet. So why we don't get everybody here together? Because it seems to me like a lot of people don't really care. You can see all these people that walk away from this hall. It's because they don't care. So we need to get the people that really care about the ranch.
The thing is, this is why these meetings are announced with time. In January, we will send out the meetings for the next year. And everybody knows about them because we put them in the website, we put them in the newsletter, and in the first meeting we have in February, we remind everybody about the next meetings. So the thing is, the people doesn't come is because they really don't care. The people who comes is the people who is caring. Some people doesn't live here, and they live far away, or they have their own reasons not coming down. I will not judge for what I don't know. Maybe they have a family who is sick, maybe they are out of work, maybe they get ill, I don't know. I won't judge the people who doesn't come, who doesn't live close. But there is people here who lives here and they don't come. So again, I don't judge them. I just say that if we work together, it's going to be easier. I have been always open in my office. The only thing I say, please make an appointment, because I am always going to town in different meetings around the town. I mean the ranch, or with security, or with activities, or with one of the activities that we do. And sometimes the people goes looking for me, Roberto is not here, please make an appointment. And the people say, well, where is Roberto? Well, Roberto is in a meeting right now. He's always in meetings. Unfortunately, yes, I have to be in all those meetings. Do you think I love all those meetings? I have to do them. But if you make an appointment, I am always open to answer to you, receive you, listen to your opinions. If you want to talk with the supervisors in my office, we can do it. Put together an appointment with them, and then we can meet. I have always been open. Yes.
We shouldn't have to come to you. You should come to us.
This is why we make the meetings. I am
And
here.
you time the meeting so that it's the end of September when people are not back yet.
No,
The end
no,
of
no, 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 no.
October would be the better
We
idea.
do one in February, we do one in
I
June,
know that,
and we do
but
one in September.
You don't bring up something this big at a September meeting. And it shouldn't be presented as a done deal if it's just a proposal. And if it's a proposal, then there should be announcements in the newsletter. There should be announcements by email. And you should ask for committees of people to come up with creative ideas to help with this. You are going backwards in your thinking. You keep saying, we're the ones who come up with solutions, we're the ones who make the decisions. If you have input, then you have to come to us. No, it should be proposals from the supervisors put up to the people, and that they're given the people, when they are here during the season, to make these decisions and to help out. But you've got your process backwards. You need to come to us, not us having to go to you, and we don't even, most of the time, know what the problems are.
Let me give you how I see things. I agree with you, but my point is this. We create, or not by me, it was created before even I arrived here, the Supervisors Committee. The Supervisors Committee are residents. They do not work for the HOA, they do not work for the company. They are volunteers who do the job. And they are the liaison between all the residents and the management of the HOA. Why? Because you can talk directly back and forth. The only thing you have to do is contact them, talk with them, and they can talk to you, explain things and everything, and then we get together. I didn't hear that, sorry. Two people at the same time?
Information should be pushed to us as members and residents. And I would just like to remind everyone that the HOA fees are our money. It does not belong to the HOA. It belongs to the members for the HOA to manage properly. Without members and payments of HOA fees, this place does not exist. And it's time somebody said that out loud, so I am saying it. We have the say. You work for us. You need to communicate to us. The supervisors need to communicate to us. There are all kinds of things that are done without any notice, and then it shows up in a newsletter. And I had to laugh at the last newsletter because you said, make sure you pay your real estate taxes so that we can get services from the city, like roads and lights. Well, I'd like to see that happen.
Hold on.
I'm just going to talk for a minute.
I have never said that. I have never said.
You go back you look in your
let me answer
newsletter.
to you.
In the newsletter, it is specifically, it says,
let me answer to
please pay
you.
your taxes.
I have never said that you have to pay your taxes to receive services from the government in San Felipe. You say, pay your taxes because that's the law. And I don't say they are going to make you streets. They are going to, first of all, they are never going to be streets here, paved streets. Why? Because we are in the reserve of the biosphere of the Gulf of Baja California. Yes, please read the law. I am not.
Please read the last newsletter. That's all I'm going to say. Just read the last newsletter.
I have it here.
Thank you.
And I think so. Nowhere
would
it
like
says
to-
that we will receive paved roads or anything. Even the electricity is CFE, is not the municipality. The water is not the municipality, it is the CES company. So I will never say that we will receive services from the city, for example, is the police, and they come. The Army and the Navy, they are federal. They are not from the municipality. So I know exactly where the segments are, but I have never said that we will receive the services like paving the streets and all that. The garbage, it's paid by the HOA. So this is some services. As a matter of fact, the municipality has only been 2 years in its place. They are still forming and regrouping and doing what they have to do to become a whole municipality. And when they started with 0. So I don't expect them to be from 0 to 100 in 2 years. That, in my opinion, that's very, very hard to accomplish. We would like that to be, yes, but it's hard to be. But we will talk more. We will be in more communication with you. Several years ago, there was not even a newsletter there.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to follow up on the woman in green's comment, which is the process. And we cannot engage in decision-making or input if we have no idea that the issue exists in the first place. So once we are made aware, there's two things. One, we need a process by which we are made aware of the issue, and that would be coming from you folks, because we don't just walk around knowing it. So once we are aware of the issue, we need a process in place for us that will allow us to engage. Many of us aren't here all the time. I'm back and forth. So this needs to happen across the internet so that everyone has an opportunity to be aware of the issues and engage on them before they start moving forward. There is a huge communication block here, and I think that's where a lot of the anger is coming from. So how do we address that?
Okay, now that you have brought this point to the table, we will work on it. Because as you say, if you don't hear of it, if I don't hear from it, I don't know either. So now, Mr. Ross said it, you are saying it, you want more communication? Well, we'll find out another way to communicate, because with this way we are noticing that we are not communicating as we think we were. We are open. We can work with that. You're welcome.
As to the comment in the newsletter about paying taxes, this was a comment that was from the municipality, which states, with your payment, we can improve our community, streets, lighting services. Together, we make our municipality continue to grow. Questions and information. That notice is from the municipality and the taxing office. It was not from Roberto, myself, or anybody with the newsletter. That was an article that was put in by the municipality.
Okay. Any other question? Okay, then I will close the meeting. Thank you for being here. The next meeting will be announced after the GAs. We'll have the new calendar for the next year. Thank you for being here.